And seeing as the Niners just absolutely dominated for 4 quarters, I see no reason why we would lose the Detroit game. But I'm going to start with Brother Bill. I want to hear the positive Raiders or positive Niners fan side, and then I'm going to go right to the Raiders fans so you guys can look at it, give us an out from an outsider's perspective, because I know I had a rough, I did not have a good Saturday night at all, except for the last 6 minutes of the game. But the rest of the game, I was not cool. So, Brother Bill, what do you expect to happen on Sunday night?
What I expect to happen Sunday night is if Deebo Samuels plays, then the Niners will be in good shape. Deebo, just like you talk about McCaffrey being the MVP, the team, that offense runs its best when Deebo's on the field. Number one. Number two, the Niners running game, it has to feature more than just McCaffrey. And Deacon Gregory was talking about this on Sunday. He's the workhorse, but you notice in the second half, Shanahan started getting him the ball out in the flat instead of just running between the tackles all night. I think that as explosive as Detroit can be, and yes, they do have a running game, and yes, they do have a good defense, a dome team on the road, this team, the Detroit Lions, has never been in this situation before. And yes, they're hungry. Sure, they got the right coach and all, but the 49ers that team has been looking forward to this ever since Brock Purdy went down in the NFC Championship game last year. So this team is on a mission. But I will say one thing. If there's turnovers in this game, whoever wins the turnover battle, I think that team's going to win the game. And the last thing I think that I will say about the 49ers is the reason why I was listening to, 49ers 95.7 the game this week, and a lot of fans calling in, all the angst over the game. And the reason why I think there was so much angst over the game is because, they expected the Niners to be the front runners in the game like they've been most of the season. And the way Green Bay was able to run the ball, and we talked about this, if Aaron Jones got loose, that was going to be a problem. It almost was. So I think Niner fans have gotten used to the Niners being comfortably ahead in most games. And when they were trailing in the second half, then all of a sudden, and then, they're down by, 4 points. He needed the touchdown drive by Brock Purdy, the quote unquote average quarterback who goes 6 for 7 for 47 yards and 67 yards, and the only incompletion was the George Kittle drop. It's like, what do you have to do to, at some point, critics, he's better than average, not elite, but an average quarterback just doesn't do that in a big game. Sorry. Not when all the chips are down and you got to have a touchdown to win the game. And there's no Deebo. That's all I got.
Deacon Hill, thoughts?
First of all, I said he was above average. I didn't say he was average. He's above
You said average. I'm gonna find that in our text thread. Yeah, I know what you said.
Okay. Well, again, you're saying that Deebo, you guys got to have Deebo on the field. Guess what? You probably will have Deebo on the field, but how effective is he going to be? He got a bad shoulder. He go out there and get hit up a couple times, so he ain't going to be the Deebo that you guys think he's going to be. So that right there is going to be, you better cross your fingers, but he's just going to be a decoy at best. He's not going to be the Deebo that you need. And then, like you said, we talked about McCaffrey. He's not a workhorse. He could break plays. He gets in there and he could break a play, anytime. But you guys try to use him as a workhorse, and that's going to be a big mistake. I think a lot of teams are using, just like Green Bay, they're using that blueprint that Baltimore put on you guys. They're putting a lot of pressure on that with the defensive line, and the defense is coming, and that is what is giving you guys trouble right now. And I think that the Lions have the personnel to duplicate the same thing, and they have a better offense than Green Bay. They have a better quarterback. Jordy Love is a good quarterback, but he don't have the experience as Goff. Goff has been to the big games and he's been around, and he's not gonna throw that crazy interception at the end of the game that Love did. And they have a running game, and like me and you were talking, what they did is they ran right at you guys at Bosa and your defense. So that pass rush, they neutralize your pass rush right off the top. So I think they're going to use that blueprint and come straight at you guys and punch you guys in the mouth, and you guys are not going to be able to recover. That's all I got.
So you're saying you're calling Ravens Detroit Super Bowl? Yes. All right, Brother James.
He's calling anti-Niners Super Bowl. That's all that was.
So going back to Purdy, I think Purdy's a good quarterback for his years. For his age. Will he blossom into a Montana? You never know. I think he makes good decisions for his age. Okay, but if you look at the last game, I mean, really, he should have had 3 picks. Okay, only reason he didn't is because the defense of Green Bay was too anxious and they just couldn't catch the ball. Okay, now he does that with Detroit. That's a done deal. Okay, and like I said, he's just like any other little rookie quarterback. He's gonna try to do too much. That's what happened that's why y'all beat Green Bay, because the quarterback loved try to do too much at the end. Instead of throwing the ball away, he trying to thread a needle. Live to fight another day. And so I want to pick you guys for this game, but it's hard. And the reason it's hard because one, Deebo Sanders is not going to, like Hill said, he's hurt. He's faking the funk right now. He's going to take them shots and he's gonna play. But McCaffrey is enough of a running game. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all got probably the best running back in the league, in McCaffrey. But that defense of that front of Detroit, I think is going to limit his deal. So y'all going to end up passing the ball to him in the flats, and then you do that, he's going to be less effective because I think he runs better when he's coming through the tackles. So saying all that, I'm going to agree with Deacon Hill and say it's going to be Baltimore and Detroit for Super Bowl.
All
And
right.
it's going to be a dogfight, but yeah, if y'all turn the ball over one time, Detroit's going to win.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel
There's
like
that if word again. What a great thing. If we, how many turnovers did we have last
It was
week?
a fifth. I mean, y'all didn't have any.
Right. There you go.
Besides the 3 and outs, but you didn't have any. But the issue of it is, okay, so then you do for a turnover then, because that's just it's like a slot machine.
Oh boy, stop
Okay,
it!
so-
Just stop it.
Okay, so I see Detroit's defense as being very similar to Philadelphia's. I think they have a very strong front seven, but the secondary is not like they're. I mean, teams go up and down the field on them. And granted, when you have a short yardage situation and they know you're running the ball or something like that, or they have to get in there, and they have Hutchinson coming in at you. I mean, they have the ability to totally blow up short yardage plays or plays that. And Kyle seems to like these passing plays. Like you need like 3 yards. Why is it taking 5 seconds to develop this play to come? Like just get the ball to the dude in the flat or whatever, and let's go. So I think that they'll have the ability to blow that up. If we can get into their secondary, we get past the linebackers and stuff. I don't think passing will be a problem. I think running will be a problem. I agree with you. I don't think we're going to be running up the middle. I think we're going to be running in the flats. I think we're going to run in the middle 2 set up, running in the flats, and running up the middle 2 set up to play action and all the stuff that we do. I will say Kyle drives me absolutely nuts. And part of it is the label that they put on him as like this offensive genius guy. The dude cannot adjust to save his life. He does this. Like that play when they came out in the second half and they ran a Deebo play with Jawan Jennings, I almost put my head through the TV. I'm like, he's not Deebo. He's Jawan Jennings. He's the dude. He's like one of the best 3rd down receivers like in the league. The dude is, I mean, and you saw it later on in the game when Purdy threaded the needle just over the linebacker and he just, Jennings is a stud receiver. He's not a wide back. Why we kept that play in there, but Deebo's not there. My head was going to explode. And I think that's the thing with Kyle. And that's why he had the problem in Atlanta when the defense adjusted, he couldn't find the adjustment because his little thing that he knows is going to work because he knows what, he knows that this play has to work and this has to work. He can't adjust to it. So then when they adjust to it, he doesn't he doesn't know where to go. And I think that's similar to what happened when we had to get some yardage and stuff when we were trying to come back against Kansas City in the last Super Bowl. And I feel like that's why he's what 30-1. I mean, a 1-30 and trailing, because it just his adjust for somebody that is supposedly so good at offense to not be able to adjust to whatever you see. If you're so good at offense, it baffles me when you have these offensive weapons, when you're just we're gonna keep doing the same thing. And Purdy, so I have a few clients that are orthopedic surgeons. So I said, hey, everybody's like, oh, Purdy can't throw with the wet ball, da 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 da. He played at Iowa State. Iowa State does not have great weather. There's no way the weather is it's not freezing cold or raining or snowing or something. So I looked up the numbers. His numbers are pretty comparable the whole season. So I said, he had this elbow surgery a year ago, 11 months ago. Is it going to affect his grip? Because he was terrible in Cleveland. He was bad the other day. Like, the ball's wobbling and he's all over the place. So when you have surgery on the joint, it gets the weather's cold, the weather's wet, it tightens up, and it's going to affect your thumb and your grip. So Purdy, who's not a big dude, I can't imagine he has monster hands being a little dude. So his hands are probably big enough when the weather's good and his grip's good. But when his grip is not good, like the way it is, as his elbow is still recovering because tendons take forever to heal 100%, he's not going to be able to grip the ball as well. Luckily, Raiders have an indoor stadium and it's not supposed to rain on Sunday. Thank God. But I think Purdy's thing is it's more grip with his elbow than it is the small hands or can't throw. That being said, Purdy's a dude. He played like booty the whole game and was clear and decisive and on point and everything at the end of the game when it mattered the most. And he's not Mahomes. When Mahomes threw that ball that what's his name missed? Diggs missed that like 70-yard just bomb. He's never going to throw that. The only way the ball gets down there is if he drives it down there in his car. He's not Mahomes. He's none of these dudes, but he's Peyton Manning didn't have a real strong arm. Drew Brees didn't have a real strong arm, but so he can be in kind of that category of arm strength. But the dude, he doesn't get phased, and that's what I love about him, because a lot of the quarterbacks, when they start having a bad game, they have it's done. They're just trash the rest of the game. And I love that he's not doing that. I think we're going to play much better against Detroit. I think that was a huge wake-up call, because for 54 minutes, it looked like we were going to lose that game. And I think Detroit doesn't play well on the road, The pressure, the inexperience, all of those things. I think it'll be tight. I do not think it'll be as close as it was against Green Bay. I don't think we're gonna have to pull a game out of our butt at the end. I think it's gonna be a rematch, Chiefs Niners. I think we're gonna look much better. And I think we're gonna make Detroit look not very good.